up, you guys? This is Ben Kesington, Realtor with eXp Realty. I am in Tucson, Arizona at the University of Arizona to check out a basketball game between Sacramento State and the University of Arizona Wildcats men's basketball team. Check out this beautiful stadium, guys. The home of the 1997 NCAA champions, led by Mike Bibby, Miles Simon, and Jason Terry. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into my channel. This is Ben the Realtor AZ. Smash up that like button, hit the subscribe button, and definitely hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Okay, so we're located in Tucson, Arizona, and we're at the Mckale Center, the home of the men's basketball team for the Arizona Wildcats. And every time I'm here, man, I get that nostalgic feeling. There's a lot of history in this building. A lot of people have come and gone over the years. The Arizona Wildcats won the 1997 Men's Basketball National Championship. It was a huge year, especially for the state of Arizona. No other teams were winning besides softball, because softball is a powerhouse here too. If you've seen my video of the pros of living in Arizona, I talk about the University of Arizona, the best school in the state. Sorry, ASU. But anyway, I'm going to give you guys a tour of the Mckale Center. I went to a basketball game in November 2021, Sacramento State at University of Arizona Wildcats. Mckale Center's had some upgrades. They have been a powerhouse since head coach Lute Olson took over. In 1988, he led the Wildcats with Sean Elliott, Steve Kerr to the Final Four. They lost to Oklahoma. Final Four is like the big thing in college basketball. The Final Four teams duke it out over a weekend. They play Saturday, and then the Final Two play Monday for the title. And it's big for NCAA tournaments and brackets and things like that. But Arizona was one of the big teams in the 90s when Lute Olson took over. Now let's go back to 1997. There's Miles Simon, one of my favorite players. There's a team photo, the team that won the 1997 NCAA championship. That was the team photo before the season started, led by that man, Lute Olson, rest in peace. He passed away some time ago, not too long ago. Rest in peace to him and his wife, Bobby Olson. They did name the court after them both. This picture's here from the 80s in front of the Mckale Center. 1997 was special. Excuse me. I was a freshman in high school, about 16 years old. And I remember that Monday when I watched the game and saw Arizona upset the Kentucky Wildcats to win the championship. My parents had a side hustle. They worked for USA Today, delivered newspapers at like 4 in the morning. I told my dad, stay home. I'm going to go get that sports page. And I got a couple sports pages, delivered the news that morning to everyone when I was 16 that the Arizona Wildcats won the championship. They were all over the USA Today. I kept that for a long time. There's cool cat Miles Simon was on the cover of Sports Illustrated countless times. Arizona was now on the map permanently with the big dogs, and they would go on to recruit even bigger basketball players. Miles Simon's number is retired. He was the Final Four. He was the outstanding player of that championship game, and he helped lead the Wildcats to that championship. That's their one and only championship. You'll see the banner in there. Tucson was rocking. They had riots. There was a lot of stuff going on. It absolutely shut the state down, especially the city of Tucson. For Tucsonians, alma mater, anybody who was there, a student at the time, this was huge. University of Arizona was on the map. They were the talk of the town, and they brought back their entire team for the 97-98 season. Everybody came back. Nobody went to the NBA. They came back to campus. So you can imagine they were rock stars. Parties. They got to skip class. They pretty much were rock stars. They were celebrities in Arizona and especially in Tucson. I ended up going there in the fall of '97 to go check out the campus. My uncle lived in Tempe at the time. I grew up in Southern California, so I went in the fall of '97 because I wanted to attend the University of Arizona. I did not. I ended up attending Cal State University in Long Beach, but I was always a fan. This was always like my school away from my school, my home away from home was University of Arizona. So in '97, I went to this shop here, the Wildcats store, and I purchased myself an Arizona sweater, Arizona fitted cap. I'm back with my fitted cap on again, or actually a snapback this time. But this place is beautiful. There's been upgrades. They've really kept taking really good care of it. 1997 was a great year. Miles Simon was amazing. He came back for his senior year. And I'm going to give you guys a tour around the stadium, show you guys a little bit of the game, the intro, and then I'll come back in and out with some stories.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy, and silently, it could build and build until you finally see, whoa, it's taking over, damn no closure, moving closer. No exposure, I just wanna be a loner. Some can't stay sober, looking over all their shoulders, like moving boulders just to get out of the home. It sucks, I've had enough, I don't wanna feel the stuck under the rug, all my problems that I shove. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I've been feeling weird, I can't seem to focus good enough, nothing's really clear, sometimes it could be a little tough, I just need to feel like the end's in sight for me, but
jersey hanging from the rafters. This was right after the title game in 1997. He was the Pac-10 Freshman of the Year. That's a conference they play in. It's now the Pac-12. That number 10 was retired right next to Jason Gardner. Mike Bibby being from Phoenix, Arizona, McDonald's All-American. He was a legend. He was one of the best players. He could have left after his freshman year and went straight to the NBA, but he came back in 1998. And Mike Bibby's a legend. He's one of the best players ever to come through the University of Arizona. He's one of my favorite players because it was that team, 97. I remember my junior year in high school, Mike Bibby was on the team. I had dreams of wanting to play for the University of Arizona. I played basketball in high school as well. And I said, hopefully he stays 4 years. I can come play with him by the time I graduate high school. But that wasn't going to happen because I was a freshman. He was a freshman. He would have been gone by the time I got there. But Mike Bibby, back to Arizona, was a legend. Pac-10 Freshman of the Year. Came back in 98. Put up great numbers. His jersey was retired. He'll never be forgotten. He even went back in Phoenix to his high school and coached for a little bit. Arizona always welcomes its players back. He was a celebrity. Pretty much Arizona was on the map. They were the kings of college basketball in the late 90s. They had the best sneakers for any team. They pretty much put a lot of sneakers on the map. They were sneaker kings. And Mike Bibby pretty much took over for that man there, Damon Stoudemire. That's what put me on to Arizona was Mighty Mouse, his nickname, Damon Stoudemire. He went to the 94 Final Four with the Wildcats, and they started producing point guards like Damon Stoudemire and Mike Bibby. So a lot of players, once all these players started pouring through University of Arizona, they all wanted to come play for Lute Olson. Mike Bibby followed. But you guys go ahead, enjoy this tour of the arena, enjoy the floor, enjoy the sounds. I'll be right back and jump back in with some more story time. And as you can see there, that number 31, Jason Terry, Jason the Jet Terry with the long socks, the sixth man of the team at the time, 97-98. They paraded on campus. Like I said, they were rock stars. They were almost like a pro team in Arizona. Like I said, the newspaper, the next day, once Arizona won, when they came back for 98, they were favored to repeat, to win it again, back to back, the first time since Duke did it in 91-92, Duke University. Arizona was on the cover of all the sports magazines. You couldn't walk through a supermarket without seeing the Wildcats on the cover of magazines. Okay, Miles Simon was leading them. Excuse me, Mike Bibby, Miles Simon, they're all Americans going up against some of the best teams. Like I said, Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, you name it. They were invited to all the big tournaments, the Great Alaska Shootout, Maui Invitational. Miles Simon and Mike Bibby were a tandem now. They were known. It was like Pippen and Jordan. And 1998, they had a target on their back. In 1998, they pretty much had to defend their championship, and they ran into a guy when they got to the Elite Eight. They're almost going back to the Final Four. They're the number 1 seed. They ran into Utah. Andre Miller, Rick Majerus, rest in peace as well. Andre Miller was an absolute machine. He was on a mission, and they embarrassed Arizona. It was really sad to see them go out this way. In 1998, it was really sad to see them go out. They could have defended their championship. They seemed like they had a lot on their plate. You know, NBA agents were lurking, trying to get a lot of the players to leave early. Of course, players would leave after this season. It seemed like it would never be the same again for Arizona after this team was done in 98. That was a huge upset. It was at the Anaheim Pond. I remember because our high school basketball team, we just played there just before them, a month before, and I missed the game. I wanted to attend it. It was at the Anaheim Pond. I remember, man, I never see the Anaheim Pond the same again. Mike Bibby ended up leaving. He was a sophomore. He was already, like I said, he could have left after his freshman year. He was the number 2 pick in the draft by the Vancouver Grizzlies. Had an excellent NBA career. As you guys remember, his battle with the Lakers and the Kings. You can see Jason Kidd there. He was in Arizona at the time that Mike Bibby was playing for University of Arizona. Mike Bibby will always be a legend. He's the only point guard to win, starting point guard to win a national championship for Arizona. Mike Dickerson, he was a big part of the team. 3-point specialist. He could drive, shoot, and he left as well. He was a senior. He was picked, I think, in the top 15. He was a top 15 pick, if I can't remember. Yeah, he went number 14 overall to the Houston Rockets. Had a short, okay career. Miles Simon also was a senior. He went all 4 years. That's why he's a legend at Arizona. He was a second-round pick by the Orlando Magic. I think he played for the Seattle Sonics a little later as well. Had a short career, ended up going overseas for a while, just like Michael Dickerson went overseas as well. And he was gone. That was it for Arizona. A lot of their legends were gone. Bennett Davison as well was a senior. He was a JC transfer, and he went overseas. He went undrafted. Okay, back to Jason Terry, and we didn't get to talk much about him, but he was kind of the forgotten guy, the guy who came off the bench. But once Bibby, Simon, Bennett Davidson, Michael Dickerson, all those guys left, it was JT's turn now. So he was now starting. He was the leader. It was his senior year, and Jason Terry absolutely went nuts. He had a stellar year. He was a Pac-10 Player of the Year in '99, first team All-American. His jersey as well is retired in the rafters as well. And he ended up going first in the first round, number 10 overall pick to the Atlanta Hawks. Had a great NBA career as well, won a championship with the Dallas Mavericks. We'll never forget JT. AJ Bramlett as well, that was his senior year. And they got bounced out of the tournament. They didn't win. AJ Bramlett got picked by the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round, 39th overall. He only played, I think, about a handful of games, and then he was overseas for the rest of his career. But he's also a legend. He's a part of that team for life. Now the new blood comes in. Richard Jefferson from Phoenix, Arizona, McDonald's All-American, just like Mike Bibby. He had a lot of pressure on his shoulders, a lot of weight on his shoulders to rebuild this Arizona team. Now they got a lot of attention. They had a powerhouse recruiting class led by Jason Gardner, Luke Walton, Gilbert Arenas. Eugene Ederson was the only holdover. Now, Jason Gardner, as you saw earlier when you saw Bibby's jersey, his jersey is in the rafters as well. He was a McDonald's All-American from Indiana, and he was great point guard, one of the greatest at Arizona. Gilbert Arenas as well, great NBA career. This team was loaded. They now had new blood, and they had to live up to the expectations of the '97 team. Jefferson was pretty much the replacement for Miles Simon and Gilbert Arenas, and Jason Gardner was taking over for Mike Bibby. And those were tough shoes to fill, man. They always had a target on their back. Arizona was on the map. They went back to the championship in 2001, and they ran into the mighty Duke Blue Devils. Jay Williams, one of the greatest college players ever. Shane Battier, Duhon, Dunleavy, Boozer. Gilbert Arenas was actually hurt his hip that game, and that hampered them. Arizona should have beaten Duke in 2001 in the finals. They made it to the finals. They were back since '97. They were favored. Duke was a favorite as well. There are a lot of people who were picking both ways, and Duke came out on top. It was crushing. Arizona would never make it back again to the final to this day. It's been almost 20 years now since they've been back to the final, and way more than 20 years that they won. As you see, Gilbert Arenas, he was hurt that game, but still no excuses. Duke played amazing. Jay Williams is one of the greatest to go down. Jason Gardner, that would be I would say the last best team that you've seen in Arizona was that 2001 team. '97 was the best ever team, but that 2001 team, that was a special team, and they just came up just short. It was tough. Bobby Olson, Lute Olson's wife, passed away that season as well. They would go on to be ranked number 1. They would still get big recruiting classes, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't get back to the national title game. I'll jump back in with you guys in a bit. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the sights and sounds of the Mckale Center and the University of Arizona men's basketball team, the Wildcats. The team was exciting to watch. They look like they're back on the right track with the new coach, but can they get back to that level of the late 90s and the early 2000s, even going back to the 80s? I'll see you guys on the next one.